guys, I want to give you a little back and forth. Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. Let me tell you literally what was said, and then let's try to interpret and break this down. So let's just start with Tom. And Tom is a gentleman, but Tom is also a competitor in the fight business, right? Like, you can't go around being nice all the time when you're looking to get in a cage and damage somebody. But as far as being a sportsman and a father and a husband and representing the family, as far as really having those traditional martial arts, Tom comes as close as you possibly can while still respecting that you're in the fight business. Tom kicks us off here. Jon, you are letting your ego run wild here, mate. I'm not downplaying your resume. It's incredible, far superior to mine. You're known as the best fighter ever. That's why I want to beat you. Surely you can understand that. Jon says, look, it really doesn't work like that. I was a champion when I was 23. You can't just show up at 30 pretending like you've been chasing me your whole life. You have no clue. I have no clue who 90% of your resume is. Meanwhile, I've been highlighting UFC events my entire career. So far, both guys have completely told the truth. Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones. You need to fight people who build your legacy. I believe that's a great idea. The UFC says, hey, Jon, do you want to fight Tom? Stipe, I don't want to fight him. Jon Jones, I don't want to fight him. Tom, confused look emoji. Jon Jones. I love how a fighter can do an interview about me every week, make silly memes on the internet, and then act like when I respond, they're the victim. Interesting. See, that one really lets you into Jon's mindset, and I like it. And it helps to explain how a guy with that level of success stays champion, right? This is a hungry guy. Okay. So now we go back to Jon Jones. He's going to hit Tom one more time here. Says, Tom, you talking about someone's ego running wild is one of the most hypocritical things I've ever heard. You literally haven't kept my balls out of your mouth since you won that imaginary championship. Both you and Sergey have 0 championships between your name. Okay. Now, the reason I wanted you to have the exact words is we got a back and forth that you could have an Ambien or you could just follow these guys, right? Either one will put you to sleep until we get to the end. Jon Jones says you've had my balls in your mouth since you won your imaginary championship. Wow. What? Now, I like that line because Tom has almost effectively renamed the interim championship the active championship. I believe Tom to be the active champion. And it's not a word that we use. And so then you start discussing the interim, you start to discuss the undisputed, you start going back and forth. And most people get lost, but you got a little something there, right? Like, it's a good jumping off point. Jon just renamed it. He did not rename it the active championship. He renamed it the imaginary championship. I got to tell you, like, that's great work by Jon. And he says to Tom, you've had my balls in your mouth since you won that thing. Now, Jon could end this anytime by saying yes. I mean, it sounds like Jon is being challenged. He could end whatever this is that he genuinely does not like. Jon does not enjoy that side of it. He doesn't understand it. He thinks the most money and the most accolades should go ever to who could beat up the most people. So Jon could end it. He could end something that he doesn't want to keep continuing by saying one word, which is yes. But you want to know something? Jon could also end this by saying one word, which is no. No. Plan to do one more. My plans have not changed for you. I plan to fight Stipe Miocic, who's great. Stipe might be the one to bring me down. We'll find out that night, but he might not. That'll be another notch, and it will be enough. My plans don't involve you. He could do that. Daniel Cormier dismissed, effectively, Curtis Blades. I was there the night that he did it. He did it on the ESPN desk. He had just got done fighting. Curtis had called him out, and Daniel was a gentleman. He said, hey, that guy's, he's good. He's got reach, his striking's improved, a national champion wrestler. He's younger. He's got a great career in front of him. But he and I will never share the octagon. And Daniel didn't say it's because it's not a competitive fight. He didn't say he was better than him. He didn't even say he could beat him. He said, I'm a champion. I get points. I fight people that have big names. You don't. He leveled with him straight up. Never got into who's better, whose legacy, who should be remembered more. Daniel told the actual truth, which I can't make any money fighting you. You're a dangerous fight that doesn't bring money. Winning fights doesn't get you to me, just so you know. I know they've told you that, but it's not true. I know the magazines tell you that getting a high ranking brings you to me. I'm letting you know now, it doesn't. Win over the crowd that's willing to stop what they're doing, part with their money and time to watch you, and that's how you get to me. And you didn't do that. Other guys did. And it was so effective, it was never discussed again. Curtis Blades versus Daniel Cormier when Daniel was never discussed again. So Jon Jones could come out and say, you're young and you're good and I'm not looking for that. No. Or he could say, you suck. No. But it would still be a definitive and he could end this. Or he could say, yes. But stick with the plan. I have Stipe first and then I will come see you. And see, that one would be very interesting. If Jon Jones gave a commitment that it was Aspinall, I'm going to see Stipe, because I gave him my word. But much like I gave him my word, I'll also give one to you. I'm going to give him an ass whooping. I'm going to come give one to you. My man of my word. If he would have done that, it would have been interesting, because see, now Tom is having to dance to the beat that Jon is playing. What would Tom do? If Tom had that guarantee, what would he do? Do you think he would go and find another opponent? Do you think that he would fight again? Do you think that he would risk it, or would he sit and wait? Imagine the power that Jon Jones would have had if he would have told him, yes, I'll give you the fight. Won't be my next fight. I've already given somebody my word, but then I'll come see you. Could you imagine the power that Jon would have then had? And it would have ended this. And one thing about it is, Jon hasn't said yes and he hasn't said no. He's let it be very clear that this irritates him. I love the imaginary championship. I love the balls on my mouth. I like that he finally came strong. I mean, everything else he had was silly and stupid. Most of it was misspelled and ungrammatical. I mean, you never have to wonder if Jon, it's kind of like, why does he not get himself a driver? Why would he not part some money? If you give a stripper 10 grand that you're never going to see again, why would you not hire a writer for 10 grand? He'll be there the whole year. That's about what it would cost somebody to manage your Twitter page. It would be about $10,000 for the whole year for a real top guy, a WWE guy, a guy that's worked in Hollywood, a real top professional writer. That's about what it would cost. And you know Jon doesn't have a driver. That's how he's got DUIs. And you know he doesn't have a writer. That's why he's got typos. And I just bring to you, I love imaginary. I love balls on my chin. But he hadn't said yes and he hasn't said no. And you want to know something else? Tom's hands aren't clean here. Tom hasn't made it clear what he's asking for. Is Tom asking Jon for a fight? But moreover, is he asking for the next fight? Is he asking, when you return, bump Stipe, bring me in? It's champ versus champ. It's the way it's done. If you weren't planning to do this, why didn't you speak up before I had my interim fight? You know the industry, and you know the deal. The interim champ fights the undisputed champ. If you were not planning to honor that part of our history, why didn't you tell me before I won it? He hasn't done any of those things. I'm not totally clear on what it is that Tom wants. I thought I did know. I thought he just wanted Jon stripped and he just wants to be recognized for what he is. The best fighter right now. Best active fighter. But I'm not certain that I'm right. I also think that Tom wants to fight. But I'm not sure I'm right about that because I don't think that Tom wants to wait. And he hasn't made it clear that he wants to fight Stipe to earn the fight to Jon, or that he wants to fight Jon after Stipe, or that he wants Stipe pushed aside and Jon to come in. Like, neither guy has been clear. So I guess we go back and forth. I'm fine with that. If we're going to have more imaginary championships and balls on shit, I'm fine with it. That's fun stuff. If we're going to go back to talking about resumes that nobody understands or what you've done, I don't know why we're doing it. It's just not the way this game is played. This game is just simply not played about who beat who or when you did it. So, Jon, and Tom. I'm all for it. But what is it that we're doing? What is it we're trying to do? And Jon could end this by saying yes or no. Jon has the power either way. His reasons don't matter at all. Including the playground where you're scared. That could be a reason. Wouldn't matter. Nothing would matter. He has the power. Is it yes or no? Stipe then me or Stipe and then not me? And how much do I matter to you, kid? Because if I make you the deal right now, then I'll fight you. If I go fight and I lose to Stipe, do I still get to fight you? Because you'll still be interim champion. Do I get a shot at that belt? Guaranteed, no matter what. I mean, how much do I matter to you? Or is it about the belt? I mean, there's a way to get some clarity. There's a way to muddy these waters. And there's a way to do what Daniel did and said, you're just not popular. Whatever the reason is, you got to give a guy an answer. Yes or no. Or we just keep doing this. Generally, I would be okay. Like, if this was Conor or somebody entertaining or fun, I would hope that it would continue. You guys aren't fun. This is boring. And all these tweets, I did like imaginary. I did like balls on chin. The rest of it, I kind of wish it would stop.